this evening. Motor racers among four fingered in large cocaine bust. Minister of Health addresses UN World Health Organization. Amerindians lead protest in front of Ministry of the Presidency. East Coast congestion to reduce after reopening of Lilindal Bridge. In the region, Venezuelan national elections slated for December. And internationally, UN steps up climate change warnings as Trump mulls over Paris Agreement.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Join us. On Wednesday, a number of Amerindians led a demonstration at the Ministry of the Presidency. Those in attendance were protesting the arrest of 21 Amerindians accused of illegal mining over the weekend. Andrew Weeks reports that to them, the arrest made by the Joint Services and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission was handled so badly they felt as though they were animals going to the slaughter.
Amerindians came from as far as Potaro, Superuni, and Chinapao in Region 8, the area where Kaicho Fall is located, and told Headline News that they were treated wrongfully and arrested as though they are not Guyanese. They claim that the arrest was carried out by Joint Services and the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, who was conducting a search for illegal mining at the Kaicho National Park. Tushaw of the area, Edward Margaret, said they are calling on President David Granger for answers now.
That's something that we really want to meet with the president, because we want him to, if we want to know if it's true that he gave the okay for the army to go and, I would say, like, practice in Kaicho National Park. And we want him to reduce back that park, because mining is the only way we get an income to maintain our families. Without mining, there's no other thing we can do. We don't want to come out here and do stupidness. We are a peaceful set of people. That is why I said the way the resident was treated really hurt me.
The question as to how the Amerindians were treated during the arrest was told by Nick Carter and Tony Melville, who was at the location when the arrest took place. Listen.
Nobody was, the people that are arrested on Sunday, they weren't mining. Nobody was mining in the park. They were going through as the custom coming through and going forth. That is our port to anywhere we want to go. So we are disturbed and we are protesting here. We are asking the government, the president himself, to intervene and see our needs. We are not disturbed because of the natural disaster they are doing, where the flood come and wash down some farms, push away some house. And then after the natural disaster, now we are having a man-made disaster where people could just go in without consulting people, just taking people up.
Right now, Kaicho is under siege, I call, because there's so many gun movement of military personnel, and you can't move free as how you want it anymore.
So you're saying you were disenfranchised, you don't feel comfortable?
No, we don't feel comfortable, because most of these areas are accessible. Like traditionally we go these areas to do, we live on to fish and whatever the case may be. Even if they might say doing mining, we go farther away, like artisanal mining, spade, and not with machinery and things. But these roads, corridors that leads to different villages, different areas. So now you can't even do that, just pick you up out here, see you in the trail, and then bring you out to charge. So, and then first of all, they tell you that they're charging these people for illegal mining when they didn't catch nobody.
So who arrested you? The police?
The soldiers. The soldiers and they got not much police, but majority soldiers, and how they treating people like if we want to know if Guantanamo Bay there.
According to a report from Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman, who stated that the Kaicho National Park is a national protected area and is incumbent on the government to send a strong message to those who want to break the law. He said that only last year the authorities had cause to remove 6 operators from the area. The Amerindians claim that they were there before Guyana was born, and it is the only place they knew where they can hunt and find food to feed their families. So you had no mining equipment, no tent set up, nothing at all?
Nothing. They catch everybody on the trail.
Where were you going?
They were coming home
They went
there
home.
normally hunting, fishing, farming, whatever. We normally do that. That is our right. So we are protesting here so that the government must respect we, the indigenous people, the rightful owner of Kaito National Park. They must respect our rights, our freedom. They must. It's a must. That's what we demanded, that they respect our rights.
They sit out with guns and everything, and you can't. I tried to explain to some of the guys who were detainees, they talk, but I tried to speak to them. They tell me I can't have no conversation with the detainees. So I want to know if it's Guyana we live in, or if it's Iraq or somewhere we went in.
As part of the arrest, too, were children, mothers with their babies. One of the young mother on the picket line said she was scared for her life. She also brought her baby boy with her.
He was arrested as well? Yes. And how did it affect your family?
Were you scared? Afraid? Thought you were going to die? Shot something?
How did they treat you? How did they treat you while you were home? Bad. Did they throw you in the truck or anything, or
They manhandle you?
manhandle you?
Headline News made a call to Minister Trotman for a comment on the issue, but his phone rang out. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Soon after this protest, another one took place in the same exact spot. The protest against VAT on private education. Rain or shine, the small but dedicated group of concerned citizens have come out on Wednesdays week after week since March. As previously stated, the demonstrators plan to continue their protests until the tax is repealed. Relief for East Coast commuters as the Lilendal Bridge reopens to vehicular traffic. Guest reporter Dominique Gittins has more.
Yesterday, the Lilendal Bridge on the east coast of Demerara was reopened to vehicular traffic. The new bridge now boasts a pedestrian walkway. The $89 million bridge was repaired by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure. Crews were proud to declare that they had completed construction work several weeks ahead of the scheduled completion date. Minister of Public Infrastructure Mr. David Paston said the initial deadline was June 2017. The bridge, which runs along the railway embankment, was converted to a pre-stressed concrete structure. The works began in March to prevent a collapse after the bridge showed signs of imminent failure. The bridge, originally built of metal and asphalt, became unstable after one of the panels had become detached. Railway embankment is a major thoroughfare for many East Coast residents. While the bridge was under construction, the redirection of traffic to other routes caused massive delays. Nonetheless, motorists appreciated the works.
Look good, the bridge look good. It look good. The only problem with me, I think it take too long to finish it.
We are very much grateful for that because we had some serious problem with the heavy flowing of traffic during the period when the bridge was under construction. So we're thankful for whoever is,
As the government continues to place focus on infrastructural development across the country, Minister Patterson said that the ministry will be working to upgrade other bridges along the railway embankment to a similar structure. This is Dominic Gittins reporting for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, Dominique. Coming up on Headline News after the break. 4 fingered in massive cocaine bust. And Minister Volda Lawrence addresses the World Health Organization.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town, served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from, also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Minister of Health Volda Lawrence's address to the delegation of the 70th World Health Assembly is said to have put Guyana's public health agenda on the world stage. Tonight we bring you that short yet powerful address in its entirety. Take a look.
Madam President, colleagues all, Guyana joins this assembly in extending condolences to the government and people of the United Kingdom on the loss of lives in the horrific act of terror on young people in Manchester. Our prayers are with them. Madam President, let me extend congratulations on your election to the presidency of this World Health Assembly. Congratulations also extended to Dr. Trudus Adhanom Ghebreyesus on his election as Director General, and also sincere thanks to the outgoing Director General, Dr. Margaret Chan, on her outstanding leadership of the WHO over the last decade. I wish to thank the Executive Board and members of this prestigious assembly for selecting the theme of this year's deliberation, Building Better Systems for Health in the Age of Sustainable Development. Under this theme, we have the unique opportunity to address some of the most challenging global health issues and decide on appropriate solutions that will ensure that our world is safer, healthier, and responsive to all the needs of its inhabitants with dignity. For Guyana, the challenges to health are clearly recognized as those related to the non-communicable diseases, global security threats, and access by people to all the essential services. I have no doubt, Madam President, that this Assembly will facilitate a clear path to good health and well-being by building consensus on the acceleration of the NCD goals by the 2014 review meeting of the political declaration of the 2011 UN high-level meeting, WHO goals and targets, particularly with regards to the marketing of harmful substances, tobacco, alcohol, unhealthy fatty, salty, and sugary foods and beverages, and the limited access to prevention and treatment technologies, including diagnostics, medicines, screening measures, and risk factor mitigation. The global food, beverage, medical technology, and pharmaceutical industries have become so powerful that small island developing states, SIDS, and countries with low-lying coastal zone like mine, with limited regulatory and monetary capacity, cannot effectively impact on the negative effects of activities of these giants. Our ability to negotiate better solutions for healthy foods and beverages, high quality, effective and safe medicines and other medical technologies, and to stimulate the promotion of health and wellness by the gigantic global advertising networks is minuscule as individual SIDS, but more impactful when voiced together here in this Assembly. We have seen the increase in extreme weather with the propagation of insect vectors, spurring outbreaks like chikungunya, Zika, and yellow fever. But we have also seen the rapid access to health resources and technologies with timely interventions and solutions, moving at lightning speed across our world to where they are needed. The responses to the last Ebola outbreak in Africa and the more recent Zika epidemic in the Americas, Guyana and across the region are good examples of this, with both outbreaks now under control in most places. Guyana, over the last 50 years, Madam Chair, made significant strides in elimination of vaccine-preventable diseases, such as polio and measles, with almost 100% coverage of all vulnerable population. Despite the challenges of the geography and terrain in our remote areas, we continue to maintain high coverage with support from all our partners. Stronger systems to monitor health risks globally and particularly access the impact of climate change on their occurrence are urgently needed. In concluding, Madam Chair, collectively I feel that this Assembly and that our new Director General, Dr. Theodoros, and his team can motivate strong global action on health with the greatest local impact on sustainable development as we work together and share best practices, innovations, and solutions that can enhance the health and well-being of all of our peoples. I thank you.
Thank you for your contribution.
According to C Division Commander Calvin Brutus, the police are currently searching for 2 armed men accused of robbing a Chateau Margaux East Coast Demerara store with a toy gun. The incident occurred at around 7:40 p.m. at the GST supermarket on Tuesday evening. The 2 masked bandits, one of whom was armed with the toy gun, entered the shopping area, which was still crowded with customers. They demanded that everyone lay on the ground. They reportedly stole 1 mobile phone from a customer. The armed bandit then demanded the shop owner's cash. He refused, and a struggle for the gun ensued. During the brief scuffle, the bandit's gun fell to the ground and the business owner allegedly unmasked the man. The two bandits, leaving their weapons behind, quickly fled the scene in a silver motor car, which according to eyewitnesses had no license plates. Brutus subsequently confirmed that the weapon was left behind. While it looked and felt real, it was in fact a toy pellet gun. Investigations are ongoing. Superbike racer Stephen Vera, car racer Nazim Ghafour, and his father Tazim Ghafour, as well as GRA enforcement officer Sherwayne Diabru, was charged in connection with the 187-pound cocaine bust at Z-Flood. They appeared in court this morning and were remanded to prison on drug possession charges. Andrew Weeks reports.
According to a Demerara Waves report, the Guyana Revenue Authority Drug Enforcement Unit agent and two motor racer are among 4 persons refused bail on a joint charge of trafficking in 84.9 kilograms of cocaine. The drug enforcement agent is Sherwayne Diabru. The others are racer Stephen Vera, Nazim Ghafour, as well as his father Tazim Ghafour. They were all pleaded not guilty to the offense of trafficking in narcotics between March 1, 2017 and May 12, 2017. Lal was not in court and an arrest warrant was issued. They were refused bail at the Lenoro Magistrates Court by Magistrate Rochelle Liverpool and ordered to return to court on June 12th for disclosure of statements and fixture of trial date. They were refused bail despite stirring application by a battery of lawyers made up of Everton Singh Lamy in association with Glenn Hanuman, Lachman Ramdat, Stanley Moore, and Mark Conway. The Kanu prosecutor, Mrs. Stanifer, told the court that the joint charges was laid up after 3 months of surveillance of Vera that led to him and the other persons named being charged. Magistrate Rochelle Liverpool opposed bail based on the seriousness of the offense and the possibility of that they will not return to court hearing because they may be jailed. Responding to defense lawyer Moore's bail application based on Nazim Ghafour's epileptic medical condition, the prosecution noted that the 20-year-old man was being treated with Dilatin and was told to wear a neck brace, both of which can be provided while he is on remand. A medical certificate obtained from the St. Joseph Mercy's Hospital was presented to the court by Moore. He added that there was no evidence that his client was in possession, concealed, aided, or abetted anyone. Ramdat told the court that Vera, 33, is a professional racer with an unblemished record. She stressed that her client was never found in possession of any narcotic. She added that the narcotic was found at the place over the river. Kanu has stated that the cocaine was found in a consignment of dressed lumber at Zilot, East Bank, Essequibo. Ramdat told the court that although Vera's signature was on the shipping documents, it was for a shipment of wood that had been already at the GNIC wharf and no narcotics was found. Kanu had stated that the cocaine was bound for the United States, where it would have been sold at a street value of more than 500 million Guyana dollars. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks, Andrew. Still ahead, we have our regional and international news.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service.
Let's go.
John Lewis Styles, simply different.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Now opened, the new thriving Chinese restaurant Providence location. Perfect for large events, exquisite menus featuring traditional Korean, Chinese and Western cuisine, elegant grand dining room and seats for over 500 persons. Also additional seating on the upper flat, luxurious VIP rooms and an elevator for your comfort. The new thriving Chinese restaurant second location above Massey Supermarket, Amazonian Mall, Providence. For reservation call 623-4097 or 657-9067.
In news from the region now, Venezuela's ambassador in St. Lucia is hopeful that peace will soon be restored to her country. Ambassador Leif Escalona says Venezuela's National Electoral Council has set December 10th as the date for regional elections after they were postponed amidst much controversy in 2016. HTS News Force reports.
Over 50 people have been killed in protests in Venezuela. Last week, embattled leader Nicolas Maduro announced that in July, he would be going forward with plans to establish a constituent assembly, and that body will rewrite the country's constitution. While opposition forces denounced it as a means of clinging to power, Venezuela's ambassador in St. Lucia, Her Excellency Leif Escalona, says the surprise move is a political solution to the past 7 weeks of violent conflict.
Several attempts were made to establish a dialogue between the opposition and the government. This began in May 2016. However, in June, the extremist groups began to sabotage the process of discourse with the section of the opposition which was willing to participate. In October, the processes of dialogue began with a representative of the Vatican, personally appointed by Pope Francis. All these attempts were in vain, as the leadership of the opposition decided against dialogue.
Regional elections meant to have been held last year are now scheduled for December 10 of 2017. Article 347 of Venezuela's 1999 constitution makes provision for a constituent assembly. Ambassador Escalona says the president felt it was absolutely necessary to make this move to thwart plans to destabilize the government by the National Assembly, which from 2015 has comprised a coalition of opposition parties known as the Democratic Unity Table. She says that body tried to pass 11 unconstitutional pieces of legislation.
One example of the 11 laws was the Amnesty and National Reconciliation Act, which sought to pardon sentences of political activists convicted of the commission of crimes against humanity, possession and trafficking of weapons, drugs, terrorism, fraud, intention to commit criminal acts, among others. Dating from as far back as 1999.
The ambassador also spoke briefly on Venezuela becoming the first member of the Organization of American States, OAS, to denounce the grouping. It did so on April 26. She says it is an unfortunate turn of events, and the Maduro government regards the OAS statements on the country as interference in Venezuela's internal affairs.
The attacks that we receive by the General Secretary, by OAS, through different international media, through Twitter, social media, in different letters, just he be part of one strategy in Venezuela. The General Secretary of OAS, unfortunately, he is defending the opposition in Venezuela. And if you defend the groups like you could see on the videos, it's not possible to establish the final conclusion, but you can see if you support that kind of protest, violent protest, if you support that kind of acts, terrorism acts, it's not possible to be happy, no? Because it's against our people, against our peace.
And internationally, the United Nations is calling on all countries to step up their efforts to curb climate change. But U.S. President Donald Trump is still deciding whether America should continue its support for the Paris Agreement in light of economic concerns. Al Jazeera's Rosalind Jordan reports from the UN headquarters in New York.
Stronger storms, higher floodwaters, farmlands now barren. All of this, says the UN Secretary General, is the result of a warming planet. And warm, Antonio Guterres says, isn't always good.
Areas where drought once struck every decade are now seeing cycles of 5 or even 2 years between droughts. And moreover, dry spells are lasting longer from California to the Sahel.
Australian climate researchers say average world temperatures could increase by more than 1.5 degrees Celsius in less than a decade. 1.5 degrees is the temperature rise limit built into the Paris Agreement, an accord meant to slow global warming by getting countries to restrict or cut their greenhouse gas emissions. The Trump administration has said it considers the Paris deal a direct threat to its plans to increase U.S. manufacturing, and as a result, it could back out of the accord as early as this week.
I think they are working towards having an answer for that, and so we'll wait and see what that answer is.
Since emissions targets are voluntary, the U.S. could simply miss its own target, but it could also withdraw completely from the Paris Agreement in the next few years. Guterres told an audience he's still trying to persuade Washington to stay engaged.
We are doing our best in dialogue with the administration and Congress to make the U.S. understand that funding development aid, funding foreign policy in general, funding organizations like the UN is also in the interest of the American people.
Guterres says he will convene in 2019 what he's calling a special climate summit to make certain that countries that have ratified the agreement are keeping their promises. Of course, the big challenge for Guterres will be making certain that the U.S. doesn't break its commitment. Rosalind Jordan, Al Jazeera at the United Nations.
And that's Channel 2 Headline News for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 Headline News on Facebook, YouTube, and safetvguyana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast, and tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez, signing out from this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes, and do have a blessed evening.